Hi guys, Spencer here, and welcome back once again to another stuff video. I haven't done one of these in a while. It's been like 3 months, I think, since I made a stuff video, and I haven't moved my setup around for this one, so I'm still sat in the same place I usually am for my videos because I'm still kind of getting used to the new setup that you see behind me, which is completely different to what the little acoustic panels were that I used behind me before, which didn't really do anything, and they kind of just sat to the side of me now, which has its positives and its downsides. Most of you guys seem to like it, which is good because it also makes making these stuff videos a little bit easier because I don't have to go ahead and move all of my equipment to get a decent background. But the downsides are the audio isn't as good, and I still need to treat this room properly, but it's expensive, so I'm waiting to do it in pieces because it's going to cost a decent amount of money to get this studio properly fitted out so that it sounds good, because if I turn the background music off, which isn't here right now when I'm recording this video, but I've done it in post, if I turn the background music down, you'll hear there's a decent amount of echo in this room. If I back away from the mic, you can hear it more, but if I'm closer, I can kind of mitigate it a little bit, so I still need to deal with that and do some stuff with the studio. But just got a couple things in front of me that I kind of want to talk about because I haven't made a stuff video in like 3 months, and these have kind of been building up a little bit, and I haven't had a chance properly to talk about them because they don't really fit into the normal videos. The first one is the fact that I'm going to be 20 soon. That's really, really weird for me to think about. A lot of people think I'm older than that. A lot of people think I'm like 26 or 27. I'm not. I'm currently 19 when I record this video, and if you're watching it past April 29th, then I'll be 20, which is really strange. Because if I think about it, I've actually got videos on this channel that are like me when I was 15 or 16, which is really, really weird to think about. I'm pretty comfortable in saying that I was pretty unbearable and a bit of a knob before the age of like late 18, 19, if we're being honest. I don't really have like a proper way to explain what I mean, but I just feel like I was a little bit too like immature or brash, I guess would be like the right word to use. I feel like I've definitely like matured and grown up a lot since then. Like 18 and 19 have been really, really big years for me. I think just because I moved out at late 18, I've been living in like a completely different country and a completely different place from where I grew up, which has been very, very strange, but also really good. I kind of like living away. I've really enjoyed my year so far, and I don't really have any plans to move back in with my parents as long as I can avoid it. Don't get me wrong, I love my parents and everything. I'm not trying to say I hate my parents and I hate living with my parents, but I also feel like it's a good thing to feel the way I do about me when I'm like 17, 16, 15 and younger, just because that means that I've grown up and evolved as a person, which I think everybody hopefully has from the ages of when they were 15, unless you're 15 now, in which case that's perfectly fine. But if you're 19, I can guarantee you'll probably feel quite a bit different and cringe if you look back at yourself from 15, 16. It's specifically worse for me, and I think any people who post stuff online, because I have it all kind of documented on the internet. But I'm going to be 20 soon, and I feel kind of embarrassed about prior to late 18 me is kind of the point that I'm getting at, because I probably classify myself as like a kid before I moved out, and I've kind of grown up a little bit now, although I'm sure by the time I'm 23 or 25 I'll feel differently and cringe at myself from when I'm 19/20. I think that's just kind of how it is. Most people change quite a lot in the period of like 3-5 years, I would guess. But the reason it's probably more weird for me than it is for most people is because if you think back 3 years, you probably don't have an incredibly easy way to access your stuff from 3 years ago, whereas for me, if I want to see what I was like when I was 16, I can just go on my channel, scroll to a video that's 3 years old and click on it, and I'm like, oh god, that's cringy. Oh hey, if you're a YouTuber too and you're watching my videos, big up to you. I hope you're doing well, and also you have the same kind of thing for me if you've been doing it for this long, which is strange. I don't know how many people that watch my videos also do something similar to me. It's probably not many, but I think I've spoken about stuff like this before. I think the last time I made a stuff video like a year ago, I think I talked about something similar to this, and it's pretty much the same thing that I'm saying now. The fact that if I look back more than a year, it's cringy and I don't like it. That's basically my entire point. Another random thing, a lot of people were asking me to do a studio tour. I will do one soon. This is going back like a couple minutes ago from when I was talking about all the acoustic treatment and stuff in here. I do want to make a studio tour video, and I will get that sorted eventually, but I don't want to do it now when I've got all this foam up, this little stuff here. I don't want to do it when I have that all over the walls, because one, it doesn't really do all that much, and two, it doesn't look great. And if I do like a little room/studio tour, by the time you see that video in like 2 months, it'll be outdated because I'll have the new stuff in here and it'll look pretty much completely different. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for it for a while. I will get to it eventually. I don't know when, but when I've got most of my stuff set up and it's looking semi-decent, I'll try and get it sorted. I can give you a rough breakdown though, like what I have in front of me. I have 3 monitors. I have like 2 here and 1 in the middle, the one that I play games on, and the other 2 are used for other stuff. I have 2 speakers, I have 2 Yamaha HS8s, and then I have 5 lights in this room, none of which you can see. There's 2 behind you, the little camera that I'm looking at now. There's 2 behind you. There's 1 there to my left, which is lighting like this side of my face. I have 1 here. This little thing, that's a tripod. I know you can't really tell, but that's a tripod, and the lights up there. I can't do it because everything's mirrored. There's one there, and then there's one off like this side that you can't see. So it's also off camera because obviously you don't want to see a massive light in the thing. I do have to have my mic in shot because of the microphone I use. The microphone has to be here. Sometime in the future, I might get a different mic that I don't have to have in frame so that it'll look even cleaner, but I am okay with this one. It sounds decent. I need to change some stuff with it, but it sounds decent. But maybe some point in the future, I'll try out some other stuff and then see how that looks and sounds. That's a super vague description of my room, but that's basically all there is to it. There's two little units here. There's one this side and one on that side on the bottom. It's super symmetrical because I'd like a symmetrical room, and it makes sense for audio reasons as well to have a symmetrical room, so I try to keep it as even as possible. I will eventually also get another light. The one that's here will also then be here. You don't even know what I'm talking about. There is a rough explanation though. A lot of people are also asking for my opinion on 2.03, Paladins 2.03. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it, although I'm not really going to have a proper chance to play it for like another week or two because the PTS is going to be like another 10 days when I'm recording this video, which is a bit of a shame because they teased it like 2 weeks before anybody can play it, which doesn't make that much sense to me. And it's going to be like a month before other people can play it. If you're on like console, it's a month because you don't have access to the PTS. So I don't really know why they've done that, because especially on the internet, a month is a long time. A month on the internet is like a year in real life. Genuinely, you don't hear about something for a month on the internet and it's like you haven't seen that person for a year in real life. So I don't understand why they did it so early on. Maybe it's because they're going to make changes and stuff to it. I don't really know, but I'm looking forward to the PTS. I'm looking forward to playing Atlas. He's got some very, very interesting things that no other character in Paladins has. I mean, he can rewind time. His Q is really cool where he can bring up like a wall. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please look at the patch notes for the Paladins PTS in 2.03 because there's a lot of cool stuff going on, and I think it's going to be something that's going to change a lot of Paladin stuff. It's mainly just like the new character Atlas. I think he's really unique. He's kind of like a damage sort of tank hybrid. He doesn't play like a normal tank from what I saw in the patch notes, and he also doesn't play like a damage. He plays like a person who can play the objective and just annoy the hell out of people, which are my favorite type of characters. Another thing that I've got written down on my little notepad in front of me is clothing stuff. This is more for those of you guys that like really, really like my content and the stuff that I try and do, but I mentioned it in my last stuff video that I'm trying to sort out the clothing things that I talked about. It's more like a completely separate clothing thing that I'm trying to work on. It's definitely something I still want to do. It's something that has actually got a decent amount of it done. Like percentage wise, I'm probably like 40% sorted for the clothing stuff that I want to do. But the problem is I'm a one-man band. I'm the only person doing all of this. There's no one else who helps me make videos other than my partner. She occasionally helps me with like a thumbnail or something if I ask for her opinion on stuff, but she obviously has her own things that she needs to do. But for me, I'm the only person here doing all of this stuff. I'm a one-man band. There's no one else here giving me a hand, and it's expensive. So considering the fact that it is expensive, I have other stuff that I need to prioritize before I can put money into the clothing things. Like this studio needs to be sorted because I hate the echo in here. You probably can't notice it that much because I add a ton of post-processing, but it would be great if I didn't have to do that because then the room would sound better and I could also just do more other stuff. Because I also used to do music in my spare time. I haven't really spoken about this in ages because it's not really a big part of what I do, but I really, really like music. It's one of my all-time top favorite things, and I did some myself, but it's been like a year since I've done anything to do with music myself, and that's mainly because I've been doing so many other things that I haven't really had time, and there's pieces of equipment I want to get before I can do what I want to do that I have envisioned in my head. But whenever I do sort the clothing stuff out, because I was originally planned to have it done sometime in the first or second quarter of this year, that's probably not going to happen. I don't know if I'll even be able to get it all sorted in time this year because there's only 10 months left, and that seems like a really short time for me when I think about it. But when I do sort it out, it will be pretty limited, any stuff that I release, because I will be showing you guys it through social media, maybe mentioning it in a video or stuff, but it won't be that expensive when it actually comes out, even though it's expensive up front because I have to pay to get all of the things that I want to get made. By the time I actually pass all that on to you guys, I won't make it crazy expensive because I don't want to make like a $250 hoodie or even like a $100 hoodie. That's just unreasonable for me. And going back to what I said of me being basically a one-man band, all of those upfront costs for those things end up really, really adding up and being quite expensive until I'm able to sell the stuff. So I need to have some money saved so that I can put it into making clothing things. Got most of the design stuff down. It's more of just finding the specific best place to do what I want to do, and then also paying for all of the pieces I want to get made and doing all of the samples and stuff. There's just a decent amount of stuff that I still need to sort out, and that all costs a lot of money that I don't have right now, and there's other things that I currently have that are more important than making the clothing stuff. So it's going to have to be a little bit later on in this year or sometime next year. I have no idea when I'll be able to sort it out. It's going to completely depend on how the channel does, because YouTube can be a very, very all over the place. That was a very bad explanation, but YouTube can kind of go a little bit mental and go crazy ups and crazy downs. So we'll have to see, but I'm trying to get it done as soon as I can. And continuing on with that subject, actually, YouTube has been all over the place lately. I've had some videos that do really, really badly for like seemingly no reason because YouTube just decided not to push them. I can obviously check with the analytics and just see that it wasn't pushed into suggested or anything like that. that. It's not a massive deal because I make videos that I enjoy making. So if I make a video that I enjoyed making, I put it together and I post it, and even if it's like 2,000 people watch that video, that's a fuck ton of people for me. 2,000 people, that's a large number. I'm happy that 2,000 people watch something that I put together. So views don't really matter. It's more of just YouTube being all over the place that confuses me. It's not like, oh no, I'm gonna die, everything is over. It's just like, YouTube, why did this happen? I don't understand. Luckily, I don't have like a ton of videos that get demonetized because I know there's a bunch more problems with that, but I have also experienced the fact that if I have a video that's doing really, really well and then for some reason it gets the yellow dollar sign, it gets demonetized, that video is just basically destined to just nosedive because of the way the YouTube system works. But no matter what YouTube does or what happens here on the channel, I massively just appreciate you guys showing up to watch what I make. It means a hell of a lot. I know for you, you might just be watching a YouTube video to busy yourself for 15 minutes, but for me, that's like a massive effect, and I really do appreciate those of you guys that watch what I do because it's completely changed my life. I've been doing this as like my main thing for like 2 years, probably now, 2 years, 3 years, maybe. I think it's been 2.5 years, something around there. My life has completely changed in those 2.5 years from how it was before then. So I massively appreciate you guys watching my stuff. I tip my imaginary hat to you that I definitely have. I'm trying to think of other things that you guys wanted me to talk about because I asked in a couple of videos if there's anything you guys wanted to ask me to see me answer in a stuff video because I usually have a really, really hard time ending these. There was one thing that I've just remembered that you guys were asking me if I'm going to any events or anything in the future. Currently, I don't have anything like planned or set in stone, but if I do end up going to anything, I usually let you guys know if it's an event that people are going to be at that might have seen my stuff, then I'll post on social media to let you guys know if I'm going to any of those events. So if you want to follow me on there, make sure you know any updates that I have to do with me or the channel. The links to my social media stuff will be in the description. There we go. I think I'll end the video here. I don't really have anything else I could mention. I don't think I've even covered all the things I wanted to talk about, but I feel like I've covered enough that it makes sense to leave it here. I've been sat here for 30 minutes talking. I have no idea how much of this is going to be usable, but it's been nice talking to you. If you want to see me do another stuff video, I guess let me know. I want to do these more regularly every time I do one, but I end up always kind of forgetting to do that and failing because it's been 3 months since the last one. Hopefully it isn't 3 months until I do another one again. If you want to see it again, just let me know in the comments and by dropping a like on the video. So yeah, I guess thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys all very, very soon. And as always, stay frosty. And also, a little secret for those of you guys that have watched this far into the video. 1, you're a real MVP. I appreciate you watching to the end. That means a lot. But 2, leave me a comment telling me that you're cold, and then I'll go ahead and throw some Paladins codes at you if you want. I've got a couple that I've still yet to give away. So if you let me know in the comments that you're cold, I'll go ahead and drop some of you guys a code. Thank you. Real MVPs.